Good morning. Good morning, BBT. Good morning, YouTube. And happy Friday. It is March 5th, 2021. My name is Jared, and welcome to the Morning Brew. Friday. Okay, so what a week. We've had some interesting sessions this past week. I didn't expect to have so much excitement during the first week of my pre-market show, Morning Brew show. But let's take a look at where we sit and maybe look into some opportunities that we can start to take advantage of as this market is continually showing signs of weakness. We're getting into some interesting zones that I think the next couple of days will begin to prove whether or not those zones hold any support, or if we're just going to see consolidation / the potential for a bounce. Okay, so starting off with our SPY. So I've pulled it back to the weekly, and the reason I've done this is it is Friday. The week candle has not closed quite yet, but it is something to give us perspective. I'll also be bringing this up on Monday sessions, as it's important to gauge longer term timeframes relative to shorter term timeframes. There can be the potential for setups on long term timeframes that counteract shorter term timeframes. So you always want to be sort of balancing the bigger picture versus potential for entry and exit criteria on shorter timeframes. And if we look at the weekly on the SPY, one thing to always keep in mind is that we are still in an uptrend on the weekly. So amidst all this selling, amidst the market starting to pull back from its recent highs, on the weekly, we have yet to barely even touch the 20 simple moving average, which has shown itself multiple times during this rally to be at the very least an area of interest. We've had a pretty major bounce here where we were able to make a 30-point move on the SPY. And then even though we did break through the 20 during prior to the election results, we very quickly reclaimed it. And that led to our bullish channel that we've been looking at over the past week on this session. So as we sell into this 20, something to keep in mind, we definitely want to kind of see how price reacts at this price level. And then quite simply, as we start to lose higher bullish structures, we're starting to look for support zones, areas of interest where the price has reacted in the past. And that's simply going to be another spot to keep on watch. I want to see how the price reacts when we get there, or if we get there. So weekly overall looking healthy. This is a fairly normal pullback. And just for some context, we have only lost about, call it 5 to 6% from the all-time highs. So, a fairly normal correction in a longer term uptrend. We will see yet whether or not this becomes more significant as time rolls on. Looking at our daily, we still have our channel to consider. We are losing the channel, the lower end of the channel, which happened in the tech sector much more quickly. However, the SPY being a bit more diversified and having some stronger sectors overall, we are still attempting to hold this area, and we have our notable sort of V-bottom bounce in the channel to also be looking at. As we sell into these zones, we obviously want to see some amount of general strength in the sectors that are strong, and then we want to see some sort of consolidation or bounce in sectors that are weak in order to confirm such a strong or such a diversified ETF like the SPY, whether or not it's going to hold those support levels. Nothing really of note. We are losing the 50. We have lost the 20 as of this point on the daily. And we're just kind of looking down below and to the left to see, is there any notable spot that we may want to, kind of take a look at the price action and see what's available. 368, 365, and then our most obvious point up here, which is going to be 358, which I've marked already. Headed down to the 4-hour. Picture's about the same. You can get a little bit more clarity as to this as a sort of minor potential support area. We have yet to test it. And you can see that even as we've broken through this channel, we're starting to see a little bit of potential energy getting built here as volume has increased, and they may be attempting to find a bounce before they either sell off more or reclaim the channel. And then down to our 10-day, 30-minute. Notable loss of our value zone. So if you've been present in the past couple of days sessions, we've consistently mentioned how 390 has been a value zone. And as we move through time, both in the perspective of the volume profile and also the fact that price is headed lower, we are building more and more value at lower prices. 384 is a fairly notable area where you can see a lot of value has been placed. We also have VPOC now sitting at 383. And then currently you can see that price has moved significantly away from VPOC. We had a pretty significant sell-off in yesterday's session. And as we sit in pre-market, we're once again building value, probably somewhere around 376, I would say, maybe a little bit higher. So the way to think about this is we are, relative to this indicator, we are extended from VPOC, from value, and from our value range. So from a probabilistic standpoint, it is more advantageous to look for potential long setups back to retest the lower range and potentially VPOC. So if you're playing counter trend, you're looking for lower time frame entries, maybe some sort of capitulation, some sort of pattern on a candle to candle basis, and you're playing a return to value, which would simply be a back test of larger time frame patterns and structures. So we dig into these to see, is there any opportunity that we could take, and also to keep in mind that as we are selling and going lower and lower, there will come a point where we become too extended, and on an intraday basis, we may not want to be scouting as much in the direction of the trend versus something that's a bit more counter trend or a bit more of a retracement. And that can be an opportunity for us just on an intraday time frame. Okay. Shifting over to the Qs, which have been the, I'll say the culprit. And looking at our weekly, I'm going to add back our 20, 50, and 200. So significant difference from the SPY. We are testing the 20 SMA on the weekly time frame. And relative to the high that was made during roughly the late September, I believe early October timeframe, or no, sorry, August and September. So that time frame, we are testing this high. So you can see on the weekly, we've sold off significantly. I would say if we look at our range here, we've gone from high to low about 11%. So about double what the SPY has done, and hence the weakness that we've seen in the tech and Nasdaq sectors. But we are hitting a point of inflection. This is something that we can take into today's session, as we have tagged 300 psychological number along with an inflection point. Market participants will, from a technical perspective, look at this as a potential opportunity. they may bid into this and carry the market a little higher from this point. And then we can start to gauge whether this has enough strength. Is it going to just be a rollover effect, or is it something a bit more significant, like a V-bottom sort of approach? We won't know that until we move forward in time. On the daily, I've actually removed the top of the channel for the Qs because it is no longer of interest to us. We have lost the channel in all sense of the word. We've lost this range as well. So the bullish channel is no longer consideration until we get back into those price levels. The ones of interest are this short-term trend line. We had our daily trend. If I whip it out here, this first test was here, and then we've lost this zone, and now we're hitting a horizontal support. So as I mentioned, definitely an area of interest, definitely a place where the market has reacted in the past. We do have some shorter, I would say, price level interactions around this area. And just from the fact of a market selling off 10%, that is a normal correction. It is possible for the market to simply return from whence it came after a healthy pullback. We've seen on the weekly that we're just at the 20. That's a fairly healthy pullback on a weekly bullish uptrend. And we're at a significant price level on the daily. So all things to keep in mind as we move into today's session. 4 hour, similar idea, just we're building some pressure up at 300. We have a notable pre-market range. You can even see they're actually attempting to break out on this range. And this can be a fairly, powerful move at these lows because we are relatively extended. Targets would be, recent lows, 309 to 310. And then obviously we have some moving average resistance. Very worthy to keep in mind that the 4 hour moving averages are all pointing down. So we are seeing how this loss of the all-time highs is to some, I would say, like moving average crossovers and bearish momentum on this time frame. And then to our 10-day volume profile. Similar idea. We're building a little bit of a shelf of value down here. We definitely were very far removed from value on the shorter term perspective when we touched 300. So just keeping that in mind, and the fact that we are building a very tight range down here, you can even see sort of your wedge structure starting to form. Doesn't have to be perfect, but you can see, some people may perceive this as a bear flag, but notice what we're doing. We're breaking out bullish from a wedge. So regardless of where we came, longer term time frame, we're a bit extended. Longer term being maybe the 4 hour or just a daily perspective. We've hit some value zones on the daily and the weekly, and now we're seeing a shorter term breakout of a wedge. So there is some opportunity here. Once again, potential to 310 and VPOC, which would be 315. And this would have to obviously reclaim quite a bit of selling. So we'd want to see strength in names that are notable: Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Google, Tesla, etc. And then shifting to our IWM on the weekly, loading up our 20/5200. This is the perspective that I kept attempting to reiterate, that the IWM has been one of our stronger candidates for a long time. It does look as if we are starting to lose the bullish momentum in this channel. This candle, fairly significant selling. We've lost the channel lows, and we're coming down to essentially top and bottom of a range on the weekly, which would be somewhere around here. I want to call it maybe 205 on these candles. So if market strength returns, this may bounce. This may back test the channel low end of the channel much more quickly than some of the other markets. But if the market continues to be weak, we do have, once again, some support zones to keep in mind. Quick note that this has been so strong on the weekly that we have not back tested the 20 simple moving average since late October. So if this market were to shift under our feet and we see weakness evolving, the back test of the 20 would be sort of that last ditch effort to maybe look into a momentum bounce. And that could easily come up to about the 200 price level as this continues to rise. Daily, you can see the short-term trend holding pretty well until yesterday's session where we did lose it. We are sitting at the 50 on the daily. We look at our COVID low major trend line. We are nowhere near trend line support. So we're looking at horizontal support levels as we sell to see if there's any reaction. And then obviously we're seeing if there's any areas of concern or just looks of concern up here. Once again, with our weakest sector being tech, that's probably the one that needs to react first in order for us to get any clarity on things that are not yet showing strength. Low to high, oops, move that down. Let's do it from here. Low to high, we've lost about 9%. So actually this has been a bit weaker than the SPY, which is actually a surprise. Yesterday's session must have been fairly aggressive to the downside. 180-day 4-hour. Here's our channel. We've lost the 200 on the 4-hour. Very notable thing. This has been an area of resistance for the QQQ. We want to see if that also remains true if we begin to backtest. I think here, if you play a bounce, you have two inflection points along with a bunch of moving averages all kind of colliding at price, probably around the 218 to 219 level. So this bounce area has some notable inflection zones that if we come to backtest would be sort of a profit target. And you'd have to judge whether the risk to reward makes sense to you. But given that we've lost a bullish structure, the backtest is going to be likely what's next on the table, and then we'll see what they do on the backtest. And 10-day 30-minute volume profile. Similar picture, removed from value. Value has been moving slightly down, but it's still sitting relatively high from the all-time highs, or relatively close to the all-time highs. 223 over 228 to 230. This market could easily sort of revert and backtest very quickly, as we've seen relative strength in this market. Very similar. There's definitely less volume in the CTF pre-market, but there is a wedge that has broken bullish. So same idea. And this is what we want to see. If all markets kind of look exactly the same and they're all tracking exactly the same, then we want to find opportunities in one of these markets, sort of with the best risk to reward profile, or one that can outperform the rest. But if they're all moving roughly the same, then the opportunity may be roughly the same as well. Okay, so that is our quick overview. And I do see that there was a couple of questions. I will get to those in the chat after I'm done presenting. I'll obviously answer any questions on YouTube as needed. This is Thinkorswim by TD Ameritrade, soon to be Charles Schwab. Yesterday, we had a session where we talked about different sector ETFs. I've gone ahead and left that up if anyone is interested on this watch list off to the left-hand side. As we see these markets try and form new potential lows on what is now a downtrend that we're starting to build in the IWM, the SPY. Things are starting to sell. So we're really just looking for back tests of recent resistances. You could see that here. It's just starting to slant down. We want to continue to keep in mind that there are sectors of strength. Financials have been a very strong sector for us. Let me just load our 20, 50, and 200. These pullbacks have been bought at the 50. These consolidations have been led up at the 20. And we are extended from a lot of these moving averages, but we did make a new all-time high in these sectors. The typical rule is that if you're making all-time highs on an uptrend, after breaking out, some of these pullbacks are buyable. And then you target maybe the all-time high or lower price targets just to get the bounce. Energy, very similar to financials, not at all-time highs. We do have, a lot of price above us, but just relative to the past couple of months, very strong uptrend on the daily with the 20, 50, and 200 below, slanted up. Recently made a relative high as of yesterday's session. So even though the market was quote unquote weak, the energy sector was strong. Industrials holding up well at the all-time highs. I believe this is all-time highs. Yes, this should be all-time highs. And, once again, 20, 50, 200 sitting below. We have some areas of interest if we do pull back. And once again, if the market is strong, or at least showing a bounce, these sectors can once again outperform the overall SPY. So some opportunities if the market shows strength, or at least a bounce. And then we have our notable tech sector with a similar look and feel to the Qs. Go ahead and delete some of this congestion. We've lost this trend line. So we're mostly just looking to see, we're actually starting to lose this level, which was a recent inflection point up at August and September. And then we're coming back down into these lower inflection points. Some people call these like pivot high, pivot lows. I try and just use a general terminology, just where price inflected and moved away. Very notable area of interest, very similar to the Qs. This is why I'm bringing it up. The XLK being just tech focused versus the Nasdaq still having a little bit of diversification with different sectors. And then obviously, as we look to tech to have the potential for a bounce, either today, tomorrow, within the next couple of sessions, we want to see if there are actual stocks that are going to show that inflection point. One that I think is of interest is Apple. We had notable selling into a low inflection of 118.39. We have this new candle from yesterday, 118.62. Looks like we're sitting at 120 in the pre-market. So potential for a double bottom, doji indecision candle on high volume. If we break bullish, there is potential to back test this range, 128, call it 83 roughly. Yeah, 72 on this high. And then we do have some support zones from before. Apple, I think, could be an early signal that the tech sector is starting to reverse. Microsoft, daily uptrend, we actually just came back to test it. So notable, double tests here. Microsoft has held up fairly well. We really haven't done too much except for lose the 50 in one session. That could easily be reverted in the course of a day. So notable candidate for Microsoft with an understandable stop loss area of yesterday's candle as it is the daily trend. Not so much technology, but still holding a lot of market weight. Google, communication sector pulling down, starting to lose the 20. We did back test it yesterday, and then we do have this gap in price. So a very obvious place to think about whether it's going to inflect short term would be the top of the or the start of the gap. And let's see, let's quickly go through Facebook. Facebook losing the daily trend with a lot of chop and consolidation. I would really just be looking at this range that's forming. 266 to 254 has been where the price has sat for many sessions. So a break bearish would come down maybe to this low. A break bullish would come back to this downtrend structure that we have. It's a little hard to define exactly what pattern that is, but it is a downtrending line with a couple of test points here. 1, 2, 3. And let's see, Microsoft, Apple, make sure I'm not missing anyone, Amazon. Once again, not tech. This is going to be consumer discretionaries. But if we just look at this from a range perspective, we have some notable areas of interest. 1, 2, 3, multiple tests, multiple inflections with a lot of potential strength. A loss of this would be a concern for the Nasdaq and just for the general consumer discretionary sector, as it is a fairly major zone, and the potential for lower prices wouldn't be, we'd probably have to come back down to here, or even here. So the drop zone in this area, especially with how much price has sat here for a long time, Amazon really has not done much over the past couple of months. I mean, we're just in a box, and we're starting to lose that box to the downside. So that is a notable area of concern for Amazon. Yes, we're at support, but I think the loss of all this price is going to be a momentum downside move potential. And then finally, Tesla, one of the absolute favorites of the market. Notable weakness. I mean, we've lost a pretty significant amount of price. I keep doing that. Let me do this again. So just for some context, Tesla's lost about 33%. I didn't really do that correctly, but from 900 to 600, that's 33%. So major pullback in Tesla. We're seeing if any of this provides support, and then we have a notable daily trend that we're very far removed from, and that's going to be at the 200. And then last but not least, because we're looking at the Nasdaq so heavily, it's worthwhile to look at another sector it's another industry in the Nasdaq that has been providing a lot of interest, and that's the semiconductors. I'm going to just use the SMH ETF to get a general overview, but you can see that this is starting to also pull back pretty heavily. Obviously, there's some potential for some daily trend support coming in somewhere around here. And then if we just look across some of the notable names, NVIDIA sitting right at the 200, which I thought was something of interest. AMD sitting right at the 200 of interest. Let's see, what are some other ones? TSM, one of our stronger names. I think this one, if we see the bounce, could actually recover quite nicely, but we are far removed from any sort of daily support. We'd have to find horizontal support at that time. And then just some other names within those ETFs. I'd be looking to semis to also provide some opportunity, given that names like NVIDIA and AMD are at their 200s, which tend to be buy zones. So that is pretty much it. That was a Friday session, and we've done it. We've done a full week of the Morning Brew. So I want to congratulate everyone for joining. Hopefully this has been of interest. This has been some context into the larger perspective. We will obviously be continuing this. We will be adding to the information. We'll be structuring different days as different opportunities for looking at the market. And overall, I just want to say thanks to everyone. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback to this session. and happy trading on this Friday. Let's see what the market wants to do on a fairly volatile week. So thanks everyone. Off to Carlos and I believe Norm as of today with our normal pre-market show, and see y'all on Monday. Bye-bye.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today?
Hey, good morning, buddy. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good, man. Doing really good. It was great to see those pictures yesterday from your meetup. Looked like you guys had an amazing time. So, if you want to tell us a little bit about it and how that went.
Yeah, we just kind of informal, casual meetup. Been a long. Hang on just a second. I've got a audio issue. Let me fix it real quick.
Okay, sure.
It was great, man. Just to get out and see everybody. It's been so long. I think the year previous to that, I was probably at, I don't know, 10 meetups, plus or minus a few. I'm not sure. So to have it go that long without being at a meetup, and then to get out and see see traders, see everybody, was phenomenal. We had, I don't know, about 30 people. Nice big patio, beautiful weather, so can't complain at all. It was awesome. Thanks to everybody that was able to come out.
Absolutely. I know some numbers must be breaking out, Norm, because I see the SPY dropping here, and I think at 8:30, right, something was being released there. So
yeah, we had unemployment. We had employment data come in for February. Came in better than expected on non-farm payrolls. Plus 465 versus an estimate of 210. Unemployment rate ticked down 0.1%. So that's wait, hang on. Private, I read the wrong one. At 379 versus 182 was the non-farm payroll. So the other was the private employment data. Anyway, better than expected number, causing the market to sell off. I'm not looking at the bond market at the moment, but strengthening economies causing yields to go up, and the sell-off we've seen the last few days. So,
yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, let's look into what we have so far. What we have from yesterday, actually. Let's start with SKT. If you guys remember, this was one that was very active into the market open, pre-market as well. Did get some crazy volume, but again, everything yesterday pretty much looked like this. Again, with the SPY dragging things down yesterday with a massive sell-off. This was pretty much what a lot of the stocks looked like yesterday. Just this massive drop here. So again, it was another day of sell-offs. You saw a lot of these stocks doing that. PLTR had a beautiful sell-off at the open. Did trade very clean yesterday, I have to say. Very clean compared to what we've seen in the last couple of days, where it's been very choppy. This is amazing here. Look at this drop here. Does come back up. Does not sell off like other stocks did. It just kept on selling off. This one actually had a great reversal back to VWAP. Did try to stay green for the day. Was not able to, and you see it slamming back down towards the low of the day at that time, and even further down. So that was PLTR. We're looking heavily into the travel sector as well, guys. They've been very active. They're actually doing very good until yesterday. Yesterday finally started giving up some of those gains for the last couple of days. And look at CCL here again. Any short you would have taken on any of these great stocks that got great volume would have been very nice. So CCL right here, guys, you can see the drop happening looking really good there towards the bottom. And it does try to recover a little bit, cannot stay above the VWAP, and then another drop right back down. So again, just a beautiful day of shorts. Here's NCLH, another one that traded very well. CCL was a lot cleaner. DKNG was another one that had a great drop at the market open. Again, if you were short anything at the market open, you probably did very well to get going there. So that was what we had yesterday. We're not going to go through all of them because it's going to be the same story over and over again on a lot of these stocks. American Airlines, same situation here. So looking forward to see what the market is going to do today. Norm, aside from the numbers, anything else you want to throw out there this morning for the market?
No, nothing. I don't have an updated calendar because everything just came out really for today. There's a couple of Fed speakers, nothing like Jay Powell speaking yesterday. That was obviously a big deal, and that caused that. Well, we were selling off a little bit choppy before that, and then as I've mentioned, he's not the best at those speeches, and it causes the market to sell off. That was a little bit predictable yesterday, so unfortunately. So anyway, that's what we got on. I mean, we're bouncing back right to the previous day's close now, so we'll see how it pans out. It's going to take a little bit to see how this market reads the data that just came and everything else.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, let's get to it. Let's see what we have on our gappers list this morning. Let's remove some of the stuff we have on here from yesterday. Let's bring in our rows. Let's get that in here. So we'll put that on there. And then let's go ahead and look at what's gapping up today. So we got two low flows to start out the day. We have FLGT. This one here, it is up 31%, 103,000 shares traded at the moment. Pre-market action is not looking that great. And for a low flow stock, this is a scary one because usually these higher price stocks have a flow of under 20 million. The spread could be very bad, and the price action could be even worse. So be careful with this one. I don't see anything great on it. I'm going to pass on it for now. CLPS, 4.7 million shares flow. Another one that's a former gap up. I think I recall this. They got great volume today, 5.5 million, 27% up this morning. This could look good. Starting out very nice this morning, very strong at the moment. Let's add it on here.
It's on earnings this morning.
It is. Nice.
It's a company out of Hong Kong. I don't know how great it trades. I haven't traded it personally, but just keep that in mind. And like you said, 4.8 million share float.
Yeah, you got to be very, very cautious with this one. Great that they have a catalyst, though. It's always good because sometimes you get these low flow stocks that have no news whatsoever and they're just running. So we'll see how that pans out. We'll put it on here for now. HGEN, this looks horrible, guys. Not a great pre-market action. Horrible daily. Doesn't get volume down here. You can see for the most part well under 2 million shares per day on the daily. Looks very bad. We're going to skip on this one. MRO, this one is a 787 million shares flow, so pretty big one here.
Marathon Petroleum, yeah.
Yeah, I know oil is up, right? Overall, I know Oxy is up as well.
Yeah, I mean that's why we've got MRO, Oxy, XOM on here, and I'm sure there's more oil across the board that's popping. And Fang is up, so.
Yeah. I'm going to put up Oxy here. I do like Oxy out of all of them. They tend to be one of the cleanest ones. That was going to be the next one on here. So we'll watch that one. The great daily right now. Pre-market action 239, up 3.7. We'll see how this is going to turn out for today. So that's looking pretty good. KMPH, we had this one on our list before here in a couple of days, 2 days ago, and I think yesterday as well. At the moment, 3.3 up right now, 279,000 shares traded. Pre-market is okay. That's not all right. It's not looking good pre-market wise. We had better days in here that the pre-market was a lot better than what it is today. So I'm on the fence on it, guys. I'm not going to add it on my list. If you like the way this trade yesterday is 11 million shares float, so it's a little bit on the lower side. I would like to see more volume on here. So we'll skip on it for now. QS, not looking good. Pre-market, it's not great. We do have a great daily though, holding on to this level of support right on here. So we're bouncing right from that, so that could be interesting. But again, I'm not sure we're gonna keep this one on deck. So let me go ahead and skip it for now. We can always come back to it. RLX, another low flow sitting here, 11 million shares float. Again, too light on the volume though. Up 2% this morning, but too light on the volume, so I'm not going to add that one on there. I want to do this one, last one for the gapping up list. JKS, I know we have looked at this in the past. You guys remember this, right? This thing it was just insane, the pop you were getting here. Very, very difficult to trade though. I wonder if that has changed. Obviously, if you go back to October, November, you're not getting the same volume you were getting here at this time. Still looks like it's trading okay. It's trading in a big range, but you're not getting this huge volume like you're getting here. So that could be a little bit difficult. Worth putting as just a secondary, just to take a look on what's happening there. So we'll see what's going on there. All right, we'll stop here. We got some more oil companies here. ExxonMobil is down here as well. They are up, obviously, but I'm going to keep Oxy on deck this morning. Let's see what's gapping down. SLGG. This one has been pretty active over the last couple of days. We've seen this quite a bit in our gapping up and down list this morning. Down 23%, 2.2 million shares float. We do have shares for short on this one. It is a 15.6 million shares float, though, so you want to be careful. I'm going to add this on here. SLGG, we'll put it as on the risky pile for now. It's got volume, it's got good movement. You do have inventory for short. You want to be careful with that. Let's see what it does today. GSX, this one we've seen quite a bit, guys. It doesn't trade well. It is not a great intraday trading stock. It has gapped up and down before in the past. It almost looks foreign. I'm not sure if it is, but it's pretty nasty when it comes to the intraday. It is foreign, or Norm?
Yes, it's a Chinese.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What Techa do? Yeah, I should have known that. The name kind of throws that out there a little bit. Yeah, but yeah. Not good, guys. Let's skip on this one. Open right now. We had this one in the past. I don't recall how it traded. Right now they're down 8.5, 379,000 shares traded. I think worth watching this one. I like the fact that we're losing some of these area of support right on here. We had a big red day yesterday, like many stocks did, but this one not bouncing back this morning nicely. So let's take a second look at that one. I recall having this on our gappers list. I just can't remember if it traded well or not. The volume is a little bit on the lighter side, 12 million usually for. Wait, say it again.
It can trade okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't traded it, but I've watched it. It was okay. I just didn't actually take anything on it. That's Open Door, which is a recent SPAC that de-SPAC'd. So.
Okay. All right. So we'll take a look at that, see how that turns out. BNGO, I know this one is a favorite of many in the chat room here. At the moment, down 8.3, 912,000 shares traded. So they got great volume, nice big drop here. They've been losing quite a bit. Their daily doesn't look great, but we'll take a look at it. I know it can trade well. I've seen some pretty good trades out of the community on this one. Space been taking a pretty nice hit the last month, and starting this month, not in the right side of things. They're down 7.1 this morning, 816,000 shares traded. Definitely worth taking a look at today.
Chamath sold out of a massive position that he's had in that, so that's the catalyst on it this morning.
Okay, so losing a little bit of hope here that this thing can go higher. That's going to make things move here and maybe get some other people scared out of their positions as well with that type of move. NCLH, they are down this morning 7%. Nice big gap down for them, 1.1 million shares traded. I'm going to add this one on here as a possible. I want to take a look at CCL, see how that looks this morning. They're not down as much. Does NCLH have independent news?
Yeah, it absolutely does. They've got 40 some odd million secondary that they're using to take care of some debt. So it actually, usually secondaries aren't great. That one might be pretty tradable this morning. So
yeah, it's looking really good, guys. Good volume, down 7% this morning. Definitely want to keep this one on deck. All right, let's take a look down. What do we have here? UAVS. We have seen this one before in the past. Let's see what that looks like. UAVS at the moment selling down 7.1. 241,000 shares traded. Looks okay, not great, guys. Hopefully we can find something better. We'll put it on as a possible for the moment. All right, we'll stop here. There's plenty here to go through on the down list. We'll look at NEO. NEO has been very good to trade. Again, yeah, the last couple of days, anything short, you've been doing pretty well if you had a good entry. But again, this one continues to just sell off here, down 2.7 this morning and 2.6 million shares traded. So definitely on our list. I think NEO has been pretty fun to watch the last couple of days. Norm, anything you like this morning?
Especially, I'm still looking.
Okay. Let's someone's asking how many indicators do I have on my screen. So as far as indicators, I have the same ones Andrew has. Very, very simple. I got the moving average is 920, 50, and the 200 on the daily. And that's really it, man. I just do price level. So I don't have a whole lot on here. I like keeping it real clean like this.
VWAP.
A VWAP, yes, I never forget VWAP. That's a good one as well and very important. And that's it. I don't do a whole lot of other indicators. So all right, let's get to it, guys. Let's see what you guys have on your end. Let's start with, who do we have here? Let's who did I skip here? Edwin, let's start with you there. So what do you have? You're giving us Neo. Okay, we have Neo already. SAC, I'm not sure how to pronounce that name there. RKT, let's take a look at RKT. What do we have here? Yeah, RKT is interesting. Definitely has got some good movement here after popping up like this, coming back down. Doing a little bit of stuff yesterday and today. It will be interesting to see if they can hold this and rally a little bit here on RKT. So we'll put RKT here. We'll take a second look at it.
Has potential.
Yeah, it really does, and we know they can be very explosive. Take a look at AMTX. Oh, sorry, I skipped a few here. CCL, we do have, guys. Actually, we looked at it, but they don't seem to be in play right now. Very light on the volume. I know 825 is a lot for any other stocks, but not for CCL. NCLH is in place, so we're watching that one. If CCL hits the scanners, we can always tune into that and see what's going on there. So, all right, RKT, we looked at FCX. Let's take a look at that. This is looking active in the pre-market, 315, up 2.6 at the moment. Their daily's okay though, not great. Maybe a possible for now. We'll come back to that. Heading down, what do we have here? AMTX. Let's see, AMTX. No volume on this one at the moment, so pretty light on the volume. Oh, actually no volume. It's 11,000 shares traded, so it's not looking good. And even if it did have volume, which on some days you can see here doing 30 million or so, doesn't look like it trades very well on the daily. Maybe these couple of stretches here have been great, but today they're definitely not looking good at the moment. Let's take a look at GE. GE at right now again up 1.3. Yeah.
Killing me, bro.
What with the GE?
F and GE.
Did I say that? I don't remember. Did you guys see, by the way, the meme that you put up on Twitter? If you guys have not checked out Norm's Twitter, you have to do it. It is amazing. I was dying when I saw that. All right, let's take a look at GE, guys. So at the moment, guys, up 1.5, 878,000 shares traded. It's active. Any news on this? Unless they have news, I don't really watch GE, guys. They gotta have some kind of news.
Don't ask me about GE.
Don't ask. Yeah, I know you.
We have rules in this program. Don't ask me about GE.
Yeah, I agree. GE is not the best,
garbage.
guys. They have to have a really big catalyst.
It's not the best. It might be the worst.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You can
100%.
wait all day to move 4 cents. So enjoy.
I agree 100%. I remember if you remember Norm, I took a trade on GE and I think it was 300 shares and it was an error and I left it. And it just didn't matter. Like it didn't do anything. Yeah. You know, this is insane. I know Ford has news on a vehicle coming out, but even they're not doing anything. So again, we'll just skip
GM.
on. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just checking to see if there's anything that we can tie into here, but no, nothing's happening for these car companies. XPEV, we do have Neo on deck. XPEV, you could watch that one too. It's down 1.7, 400,000 shares traded, but I like Neo better today. I think the volume is really there this morning, so we'll see. I'm gonna keep Neo. You can watch XPEV if you have the space for it. RKT, we looked at that, is good. Bank of America is another one, guys, just like GE. Doesn't move much, but today not looking so bad. Let's look at Bank of America here today. Their day looks great. I know the banking stocks have been very strong. We've seen that over the last couple of days. This could be interesting. But again, Bank of America is not the best one. West Fargo I tend to like a little more. Let's see what's going on with West Fargo. Not as clean and daily as Bank of America. All right, we'll look at Bank of America. Any specific news maybe can get this going today. We'll have to see. All right, Tesla. Let's take a look at Tesla today. Why are we not syncing up here? There we go, Tesla. Let's make sure this is synced up. Get our anchor on both charts. Okay, perfect. All right, Tesla down 1.2. Very interesting daily on Tesla. What is this? I have not looked at this chart in some time. Is this actual price action or just transactions being recorded? That is insane. Let's go back. I want to take a look.
Out of sequence.
Yeah, is that what it is?
It's been. I don't know what that is. I haven't watched Tesla this week, but that's nuts. Yeah. Bad prints, what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's got to be bad prints. I mean, that's insane. They're opening up here at 6, going up to 800. Yeah, I don't think that's actual price action. All right, so let's head on down, guys. So Tesla right now looking very active. You're down 1%, 1 million shares traded. Pre-market action is choppy. You can see here, not looking great as far as that. If you like this one, you can trade it. I have not watched it in some time. Again, there's been just so many other great stocks to trade at a lower price that are moving well. So that's been my go-to for the last couple of weeks, really. CPE, let's take a look there on CPE this morning. What do we have? CPE right now, the daily looks okay. Pre-market action, not great, guys. I'm concerned that this is not going to trade well at the open. I know the daily looks pretty clean without looking at every intraday action in here. The volume seems very light as well for the most part, so I'm going to skip on this one just based on that, just because I believe we're going to find other stocks like in American Airlines, right? They're going to be looking a lot better. Obviously, American Airlines doing very well, guys. We're looking for a breakout on this a couple of days ago. You can see we keep hitting this at 22.44. We lost the ground yesterday with the SPY just continuing to sell off big there. Today could be interesting. I do like the way American Airlines looks at the moment. Maybe a comeback day, who knows? We'll have to see. OCGN, that one's been good as well. OCGN. All right, let's take a look. OCGN right now. It's okay. It's okay. It could do good things. Possible. It could do good things. But again, I'm liking some of the other stuff that I'm seeing here on my list. All right, guys, let's stop here. Let's take a look over. Oh yeah, there it is.
I want to clarify one thing.
Yes.
The stock that I was frowning upon so much is GE, General Electric, not GM, General Motors. There was some confusion there, and somebody's asking GE, the car or electric company. GM is the car company I was talking about, and it's not an electric company. It's a conglomerate. They make aircraft engines, refrigerators, light bulbs, whatever. So, GE, the conglomerate, does not trade well whatsoever.
Yeah, it is horrible. And actually, these guys, these guys are just not great at all. All right, so we'll skip on that one, guys, on GE. Let's head on down. What else do we have? GME. You know, I quickly looked at that one. Again, I don't know if it's really tradable anymore. It's just so wild at times. You get these breakouts out of nowhere. I don't know if it's really tradable. So I wouldn't be watching this. If it pops up in our scanners, I'll look at it. We'll have some fun with it. But for actual trading, it's a little bit tough to have on our list, especially when we have so many great things moving with the way the market is moving, right? That's the issue now. You can have things that you could just look at the SPY really and trade the SPY if you like, or you could go to Apple, which, by the way, let's check on Apple now that we mentioned Apple. Pretty choppy at the moment. They got great volume though. For example, so you could go to Apple if the SPY is trending, and you could trade Apple. You could trade some of these other stocks. So that's the reason why GME doesn't look too good for us as to put on our watch list. All right, let's take a look at our YouTube chat here. What do we have, guys? I knew that was going to come up. F you to you. Let's take a look. See what we have.
F you to you too.
Yes. What do we have here? Yeah, not really looking good. And again, the risk management on this is something. I don't know if anybody has really traded this success. I'm sure somebody in our chat has, but for the most part, I'm not seeing anything overly exciting on this one to watch this morning. XPEV we looked at, guys. I'm going to keep NEO instead. Let's take a look at Plug. What's going on with Plug there? At the moment, pretty choppy right now. Not much going on. They got a little bit of volume, 417, but outside of that, I'm not seeing anything great. PLTR put an amazing day yesterday. Even with the market selling off, they did very well. They continue to just they're stuck in this range right here between 25 and 23, just stuck right on there. Could be interesting. They have the volume though. That's the thing. They got great volume. Good pre-market action. They're down 1.8 right now. Yeah, worth watching as a possible on PLTR. Hopefully we get another clean day like we did yesterday. Trip is a horrible day trading stock. We'll skip on that one. They don't have no volume here. They remind me of I think Expedia is another one that's pretty bad. Those travel arrangement companies, I don't know what is it, but they don't trade well. HD here, I'm not seeing a whole lot in HD, very light on the volume, so we'll skip on this one at the moment. GE, yeah, we looked at GE, no good. GPS, GPS here, what's going on there? No volume right now, so very light, only 40,000. And this is another one that's also very difficult to trade, guys. This stock we had in our gappers list before. We had it with news before, and another one. I won't say as bad as GE, but they're very close. They're very close. Here's LI. LI this morning they are down 1.7, 233,000 shares traded. Not a great pre-market action though. Very choppy at the moment. I'm not seeing anything good there at all. All right, let's head down. What do we have? Fubo. Oh, sorry, I skipped a few. What do we have down here? LI we looked at. PHO this morning, no volume, guys. We need at least 100,000 shares traded, or at least catalyst. EDSA, no volume there. I can only take the first one from you. I can't go through the whole list because we want to give a chance to other people. So just throw one at a time, please, for now. QS, this one here up 4.2, 270. This one was great. It did a nice couple of run here. A couple of days run here. That was pretty clean, actually, that breakout. We're back at the area of support. Can we get another run here? Maybe. But again, I think we have some other ones here with some better pre-market action, bigger volume that I really want to watch instead of this one. So it's not saying it's bad. It can run, maybe hold the support that is holding here at 45, 43, 45, the previous day close. But again, what we have here just looks much, much better. All right, with that said, guys, let's go over to our announcements. We'll come back and fine-tune this list. Oh, let me make sure. Did I turn off? No, hold on. No.
All right. What's that?
Let me turn off this auto thing. I don't know why. This
don't do that to me again.
Yeah, I don't know why this auto thing is doing this. I gotta figure
Killed
out.
me the other day. Everybody thought I was drunk at 7:30. All right. Thor's Part 2 Pivot Points webinar is posted. Checking the Education Center for that. Next Tuesday, 8 p.m., we have Mike's Tradebook webinar, going through Tradebook, what it is, why you need one. All right. And for the record, I'm only drunk at 7:30 if I'm on vacation and on an airplane with a Bloody Mary, and or I have not stopped from the previous evening and done, which, having a 4-year-old, it's been a very long time. Dr. Reed's Kill Zone presentation is up. Check the Psychology Center for that. CRADA, 5 p.m. special time next week, talking about adrenaline and overcoming analysis paralysis in trading, 5 p.m. because of her time zone. Thank you guys for coming to the meetup. It was awesome. Look forward to having a lot more of these very soon. If you want to participate in the member trade of the day, trade of the week, take a screenshot of your best trade with entries and exits, and then put whatever commentary you can on it, describing the strategy and why you took the trade and everything else. Post it on Twitter. Tag at Bearable Traders, at Mike B_BBT, and at NormBBT. Also use hashtags BBT Family, day trading, and stock market. We will pick the winner for each day, announce it on the closing bell shown on Twitter, and then the winner for the week will be announced on Monday. That'll be in closing bell shown on Twitter as well. If you're watching us on YouTube and haven't been in the chat, use the promo code PREMARKET24. That'll get you a discount off the intro membership. The intro membership is 7 calendar days, 5 trading days. Doesn't auto-renew or turn into any other kind of membership. It just cancels itself after the 7 days. And it also gives you access to the Monday night classes, which includes the onboarding class Carlos and Mike do, followed by new technology class by Kyle.
Thank you, Norm. Okay, guys, let's get to it. Let's start here with Oxy. So again, we know oil is active today. This one is up nicely, 4.4 this morning. Beautiful daily here, 611,000 shares traded. I do like this one so far. Some other ones you can watch as well, but this is definitely my favorite one. I think it trades the cleanest, at least for me here. Here's Open. Open, now that we've got a bigger watch list, not looking all that great as far as everything else we have here. So maybe a possible. I do like this drop. When we lost 29, look at this beautiful run. Yes, we know the SPY definitely helped with that, but now we stopped right at this area of great support, and we lost that this morning. Right, this morning we're down on 5.7. So I do like that here for a possible run towards the bottom here, but again, not looking all that great. So I'm going to put it down as a possible for now. I think we might have something better to fill that slot in. All right, BNGO this morning, this is looking okay, so we'll keep that on there for now. Space is looking good, guys. Again, big drop. They have not been doing well over the last couple of days. NCLH, I do like this one. I know it's on a secondary news, but they could trade very well. They got some good volume. We'll keep an eye on that one. Neo's getting a crazy pop here this morning. Some good volume coming in, 429 just in this 5-minute candle. So we'll definitely keep that one on deck. That has been fun to trade, and I want to keep American Airlines, and that goes for the watching the entire travel sector as well. Again, American Airlines doing very, very well into yesterday, right? Just holding on here nicely. So let's see if they're looking to get back up to that 2250 area this morning as more flights. I think their flights were up like 5%. I heard on the radio this morning, so hopefully that can help. Right, secondary list, we have open, we have a PLTR, we have JKS. I'm going to remove JKS. That doesn't look good, and that could be a hit or miss, and it can be very, very risky and choppy as well. UAVS, not looking all that good. I'd rather watch, I think somebody mentioned Fubo. Fubo, I think, looks better than that one. So we'll see if Fubo could be the one that takes up that spot. Yeah, it's slightly better. POTR, RKT is good, guys. That's a nice one. FCX is good, has potential. GE is on here. Again, we'll see. It's moving. It's moved 30 cents, which is a lot for GE in the pre-market. This is pretty good. Maybe today could be the difference what it usually does, and maybe Norm and I can take along on that. We'll see. Bank of America, guys, I want to watch one of the banking stocks just to see what's happening there. This is doing pretty good too. You can see here breaking out of that 37, so that's nice. OCGN, great run this morning, man. This thing was down nicely, all the way down at 8. We're up all the way up here, hitting 960 and staying above that previous day close. So hopefully that can translate to some good trading. It looks a little bit choppy, the pre-market, though. Hopefully at the market open that can change. And Fubo, again, Fubo's pre-market doesn't look great, but they can trade very well. We've seen Fubo do some pretty good trades here. You got to be careful with the number of shares on this one. It can be wild at times. So, all right, not a bad list. Not great. I thought it looked better, but not great, but not bad. Not bad. Let's do levels. Oxy this morning, 31.39, high of the pre-market right now. Towards the bottom, you got plenty of levels here. Low of the pre-market, 30.19. That's the only thing I'm going to mark there. And then aside from that, you have a beautiful daily here with highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Towards the top, let's see here. I'm not sure if we're hitting all-time highs on this thing. No, it's not where we can be. Let's go back here to March, and we got a nice level right over here. A couple of touches here at 33.53. So we'll put that on. You can see the area, great area of resistance happening there, so that's good. Slightly above that, you have 34.60, but this 33.53 is going to be a good one because you got a nice area of resistance there, at least 4 days testing that. So that is your Oxy levels for right now. Looking pretty good, guys. Looking very strong this morning, up 4.6. BNGO is interesting, getting a big bounce right now out of a 628, and that was actually the low of the pre-market around 520 this morning. So right to the T. You see that V reversal here in the pre-market, and this is also a great area for them because they have seen some good resistance happening here going back to the beginning of this year. So let's see what that turns out to be there below that 628 in case we come back. Right now this does not look it wants to come back. 559, we'll throw a level on there just in case, and one down here because it's very clean. 434, a couple of days bouncing off of that, so that should be good. Now towards the top you have your previous day close, which we're reaching now. This thing looks like it wants to go green. Above that you do have this level here, 750, and then outside of that you have the highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. All right, here is Space. Space very active. I like the pre-market action. 974 this morning. Again, not so good news for them. I saw one of their big players that had a lot of shares in here bailed on it, so that's never a good sign. 27.56 is the low of the pre-market right now. Looks like we might want to come back and test that off the VWAP at the moment. Towards the bottom, we do have a nice level here, guys, on the daily, 25.43, and then all the way down here. This is a very, very clean one, 23.59. You can see the area of support that you're getting there, right? So we'll see how that's going to play out. Now towards the top, guys, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Previous day close very close to the high of the pre-market. Your high of the pre-market is slightly lower at 30.10. You can mark that there if you want, but that previous day close is going to be the strong level there you want to look out for. Here is CCL at the moment. Where's my oh yeah, here it is. Low of the pre-market, 29.87. Below that we do have 28.34, and then outside of that, just in case, 27 basically. Great area of resistance here, and then the nice breakout happening a couple of days ago. So that's looking good. Towards the top, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. You can mark the previous the pre-market high at 32.52. That's a good one. And then below that, above that, you have plenty. Previous day close, highs and lows, and then the most recent high here that we had yesterday. So we'll see how that's going to play out. Again, very active this morning. We'll see if that can turn into something. Here's NEO doing a beautiful reversal at the moment, bouncing right from the low of yesterday, right? So this is yesterday's low right here, 37.61 or so, and taking a real nice bounce off of that. And that area, of course, well, slightly above that, where it's coming to now, the previous day close, that's a great area of support. The few times that it has dipped below that, you can see here, it doesn't stay there very long. Right here, It has bounced from that plenty of times. So let's see what happens next. Then the level below that, just in case this is going to come back down, which I highly doubt, at least right now. 35.65, great area of resistance right on there before we had this beautiful, nice run. Now, towards the top, guys, I think you don't have to do anything. The work is done for you. Previous day close, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days are listed there for you. So that's doing a pretty good job there. So let's see. Great volume on here right now, guys. This is moving very, very well. Let's see if it can get green for the morning. American Airlines coming back into the green zone again, doing very well. Higher lows here into just yesterday. We had a nice big drop up against this 22.52. Let's see if that can change today. Low of the pre-market at 20.60. We can mark that there, and then we do have a great area of support. This 20.42 is the low from yesterday, and look, we bounced right from that low, that low of that low of the day yesterday, right from that to this previous day close line, which also has a little bit of support there as well. We're above that this morning. Can we get going towards the top? As far as levels, guys, you don't need to add anything towards the top here. You got plenty with the highs and lows, and then down here, a great daily will be this one here. Of course, you can see the resistance happening at 1857 here, and here as well. You can also mark down this one, 1933 as well. So again, pretty good as far as levels when it comes to American Airlines here this morning. So let's take a look at our secondary list one more time. Do we have anything here that's looking great? PLTR is looking very good. So let's move PLTR up. We'll do some levels for that one. Just to be ready, we'll decide how we fine tune it, what we take off to keep 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we have one too many. At the moment, guys, again, PLTR, although it's consolidating within this range, we've been talking about this for a couple of days. Within these days, it's been doing some pretty good trading. Even yesterday, you see this little hammer type candle here. Yesterday had an amazing day as well. So again, PLTR doing very good. We'll see if that's going to continue. We know how choppy they can be, but they've been pretty clean. 23.80 is your low of your pre-market, going green right now, as we are seeing here. Above that, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Let's see if we can get to those. And then above that, a level here at a 26.43. And then above that, we do have one right over here at 27.53. This 27.53 area of resistance and also support for these 4 days. Not quite on it, right? They kind of broke down below this, but you got these two here and here trying to hold that 27.53. So remember, guys, these levels are an area, right? It's never to the T. Yes, once in a while you get it right on the money, but for the most part they're an area. So again, be mindful of that. All right, so PLTR will move up. That's got upgraded. RKT it's looking good. We'll see what happens there. It's looking good for a possible. I don't think it's great right now, but this can be very explosive, guys. Look at the range this thing created and the most recent high here on this short squeeze. So we know there's some potential there. FCX grinding slowly here. They're daily not so great, but good for a possible. GE continues to move here. Bank of America is okay. OCGN just chopping around above the previous day close. And Fubo going green. Again, Fubo also looking good. What else can we take out here that's not looking great? BNGO going. All right, so we got some nice bounces here, except for NCLH, which is interesting. All right, that's pretty good. Let's see what our moderators are watching, guys. Let's bring their list in and see what's going on there. All right, we'll scroll down. All right, here it is. Let's start. Oh, let me open this up there, and we can slide this on over just like this. There we go. Make this a little wider. Perfect. All right, no IPOs for today, so that's not gonna be happening there. Nothing there is going on. Jerry's watching the Qs, the EV sector, of course. NEO, LI, XPEV. I got NEO on my list. That was looking very good this morning. Great volume. He's looking at the energy sector as well. Currently, MRO, PM, and Oxy. I do have Oxy on my list as well. Looking very strong there. Here's Mike. He's watching BA, JP Morgan, Tiffany's Space, NCLH, NEO, and secondary list PLTR and Tesla. Peter's got nothing so far. We'll watch my fallback stocks: AMD, NEO, Apple, and CCL. And secondary list, she's looking at scanners and possible earnings call outs on the room. All right, he's adding semiconductors as well. Jared from the Morning Brew Analysis. Guys, if you're joining after 8:30 in the morning, you miss Jared. Every morning Jared's coming on at 8 a.m. in the morning, so do not miss that. It's on YouTube. Make sure you log in on Monday to start the pre-market show with us there. Brian is watching PLTR. He's long already on PLTR. Nice, beautiful pop. Hopefully he's got a great entry. I'm sure he does. Apple, CAN, CLGG so far. He's continued to build his list there. And John just going to wait and see. Nothing special at the moment for his break of high strategy that he looks for. Dima, she has PLTR, MU, OCGN, and VXX this morning. So all right, guys, not bad for a Friday. And you know, it's not, our list is not great, but it's not bad. Also, keep in mind, guys, keep an eye on the SPY. The SPY is creating some pretty good movements for us, and I really like what I'm seeing here. Hence the reason why we're seeing some stocks getting a little bit of a bounce here this morning. So this is great. This type of market, guys, is amazing. So again, Jared's been talking about this whole week in the morning, the way this market is trending and all the areas and analysis. Do not miss that. I'm learning so much from him already. Here, guys, you can see this market here has been just incredible this week. So hopefully you're taking advantage of what's happening in the volatility that we're getting there. All right, guys, we're 5 minutes early. Any questions that we can answer for you guys? Anything else you guys want us to cover at the moment? If any other moderators have want to throw out their watches, we can go over that as well. But for the most part, I think we're pretty much covered. We're ready and set for this Friday, the last trading day of the week, and start our weekend. So let's see here. No watches for Thor. Thor, are you done trading for the week, or you just watching today? So Thor's not watching anything. Let's look at a couple of people throwing out KIQ. Let's take a look. KIQ. It's KIQ. What's going on with this one? Well, this is a penny stock, so I really don't trade this one. These type of stocks, definitely not something I trade. Then we'll take a look at Zoom. Zoom is difficult to trade. For me, for the way I trade, I know there's, for example, Eamon is amazing at trading Zoom. I've seen some trades from him that are just incredible. John has traded Zoom plenty of times before in the past, done very well. The way I trade Zoom is not that great. You hear correction is coming. Oh, that's a Jared question. I don't know much about corrections or anything like that with the SPY. You know, I'm sticking to the daily intraday stuff. But that's a Jared question. He will know that. Brian can also speak on that a little bit. But Jared can give you a better answer on that type of question. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining the pre-market show. We appreciate you guys being with us this morning. Again, we start again on Monday at 8 a.m. So do not miss that with the morning brew with Jared and then Norm and I to take you through the gappers list and build our watch list. So today, just to recap, we have Oxy on the list here, moving very nice this morning, up 5.2. BNGO is on here. Again, the SPY is pushing some of these stocks up, so keep an eye on the SPY because when it's trending nicely the way it is the last couple of days, you are going to get stocks that might not have no business moving with volume. So keep that in mind. NCLH looking good, guys. They're not moving as much as far towards the upside, but they're down 7.1 this morning on some secondary news. We'll see how that plays out. NEO's looking good. They've been horrible for the last couple of days, getting a bit of a bounce here. American Airlines, also the travel sector, was doing very well here. They're looking to bounce back today, and POTR on our list as well. So our list looking a little bit better than it did yesterday. When the SPY does this, things can change up a little bit more nicely for us. So let's take advantage of that. With that said, guys, have a great weekend over on YouTube. We're going to continue here in our chat room with Brian and Andrew coming on to trade live. Trade safe, guys. Again, be disciplined today, last day of the week. You want to go into your weekend with your family and friends or whatever you're doing, just knowing that you were disciplined, and because you cannot make up your discipline tomorrow. You got to stick with 2 days thinking about you broke your rules, broke your discipline. So don't do that to yourself. And what that means is red or green, doesn't matter. As long as you follow your rules, that is the correct thing you want to put in your journal today. You follow your rules no matter what the outcome was. Stick to your process and the outcome will come. So take care, guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend, everyone.